Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm your usual host, Joe Scorn. I'm joined here by Tony Tones at RT. How are you, Tony?
Pretty French. Bonjour, everybody.
Pretty French. Wow, what an intro. How you
Well, I've been
doing?
pranked. Internet got cut off
What
because
it?
downstairs
What it? Okay, got a bit of a
electricity
power
just
cut
went.
situation. So
Yeah,
it's.
but I was fine. My computer was fine. It's like, no, you got no internet. Fuck you.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully we don't lose Tony halfway through this
Yeah,
episode to some unrelated power cut.
yeah.
Um,
Had quite a few of them recently.
but it's our first actual episode of the podcast for 2020, I guess, because last
Yeah.
week we were actually just talking about games of the year. We haven't done the Meme Awards yet, or at least not recorded it, but we'll probably be recording the Meme Awards at some point, and that'll be coming out probably after the podcast comes out, because I've got I remember some cracking memes of 2020, guys.
Yeah, it was actually better.
I wrote down coronavirus as a good meme, but then it took over my life, and I was like, I don't know if this is a good meme anymore.
It's pretty shit.
Yeah. You remember when coronavirus was like, yeah, it was like a China problem, and I don't know.
Yeah, I remember that. And then Australia was on fire. I thought that was going
Yeah.
to be the worst thing of 2020. Oh, how
How
naive I
wrong
was.
were we were. Okay,
Yeah.
right, let's go. So the first thing we'll talk about is Hitman 3, and if you don't know, Hitman 3 is actually going to be coming out with VR, but not just any VR, only PlayStation VR. Fuck you, VR people. I really wish this was on PC as well, because my favorite genre of VR game is VR Secret Agent game. That is what I play. I love.
This would be great.
It looks great as well until you're like. Actually, so it's only on PSVR, which you have to put, Vaseline covered glasses on and play it in like on the PSVR is still only for PlayStation 4 at this point. There's not even a PS5 version, so you have to get the PS4 version of Hitman 3 to even play this in VR. And then there's no motion controllers. There's you have like the Move controllers which you use with PSVR. It's all gamepad.
What?
Yeah, despite it looking like it's motion controls. Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's all like gamepad. So I was like, oh fuck's sake. It looks so good as well because if you don't know, you can play Hitman 1 and 2 levels on Hitman 3 if you own them. Yeah. Because it's kind of backwards compatible at the moment. So according to an IO Interactive dev, Hitman 3 with the content of all 3 games installed on it will only take up 100 gigabytes of space, thanks to the compression they did. Because if you don't know, a lot of games have like uncompressed files and stuff like that. That's why they're so huge.
Or they have like common files in every single file, or common every single file.
So I read about this. They said that they changed like it so the common files didn't get used. They didn't have to make multiple versions of the same file, basically.
Yeah.
They also said that the compression hit wasn't that high. Of like, because sometimes they leave the bigger things in the game, so it's better for low spec PCs because then they have to use like some of their CPU power to decompress. Yeah. But then they were like, well, finally we've got to a point where people have SSDs because of the new consoles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we feel like we can actually like use some of this compression technology to make the whole game's not ridiculously big. But and I was just going to talk about how I was so disappointed Hitman 3 VR wasn't coming to PC because it looks fucking amazing. But then we got some more news because if you don't know, Hitman 3 is an Epic exclusive, and they said, hey, if you own Hitman 1 and 2, you're going to be able to play them on Hitman 3 for free. And people were like, cool. But then 5 days before launch, they were like, hey, you need to own them on Epic Games because we're launching the game exclusively on Epic Games. And then people said, okay, so you're expecting me to buy Hitman 1 again on Epic Games. That's okay. That's a big fuck you. Hitman
Not
2.
really incentive.
Hold up. Hitman 2 is not even available on Epic Games Store. You can't even buy it.
Wait, is it not?
No.
How do they? What?
So this has been like a big controversy, I would say. This has even gone to the point where Tim Sweeney, the CEO of Epic, has said, he said, sorry, the team is looking into this with IO. It was never Epic's intent to create a situation where somebody who owns a game on Steam would have to buy it again on Epic Games Store to get the full benefits from it. So he said basically Epic is going to try and work with IO and make it so, I assume, if you own the games on Steam, you'll be able to get the content in Hitman 3.
Yeah.
This just seems like
you have to link your accounts or something, though.
Yeah, I guess. I think you can already... I know you can link your Origin and Steam accounts, like export friends and stuff, so...
But do I want to give Epic my Steam account?
No, that's not... It'll be like the API, like...
Yeah, exactly.
It's not. There's not like giving them access to your account. Epic Games is logged in. Epic Games would like to know your location.
Obama would like to log in with my Steam account.
Obama would like to know. So... Obama's coming into my Steam account through Epic.
Oh dear. Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah. Moving on. We got a Pokemon announcement. The new Pokemon Snap is arriving on April 30th. They did like a Nintendo Direct sort of thing, but I don't think they announced too much news other than the release date of this new Pokemon game. At least I couldn't see that much news on it.
Right. What is this the... Okay.
Because I think for the longest time people have been like, there's been like leaked information and then there's been speculation that a Switch Pro is coming. Because people for a really long time have been like, that they wanted a more powerful Switch. Because if you don't, Switch handheld is 720p, and then docked is like 1080p.
Quite old now. And even when it came out, it wasn't like the massive.
Yeah, and then only some.
Like, there's so much spare mobile.
And then even then even then only some of them are running at 60 FPS. Not every Switch game's even running at 60. Because another reason is, we just got the brand new console launch. I think the Switch is like 3 years old now. Let me check the release date. Nintendo Switch release date. Yeah, the 2017. So it's like 3 years old now, technology. And the consoles at the moment for the Xbox and the PS5, these are AMD tech. But if you don't know, Tony, the Switch is running an NVIDIA SoC.
Okay.
So people were also speculating, hey, as I'll talk about later in the show, the brand new laptops coming out with the 3000 series with the, they have easily available DLSS, RTX, that sort of stuff. You could easily put DLSS on a new Switch and have it run 1440p, 4K if you could get the, if you could get the new, 2000, 3000 series, the mobile version of those, which we know are coming out for laptops. If that were possible, it would be very easy to achieve these higher frame rates in a smaller handheld console, because DLSS is such a game changer when it comes to higher resolutions.
Yeah. I would say, well, we also know that like AMD mobile chips like really good CPUs. I'll say that. I don't know if
they don't have the
graphics though.
They don't have the DLSS is the thing.
No.
Because the obviously the PS5 and the Xbox One Series X are much older technology now, and they much newer technology. I mean, the Switch is older, but they're much bigger consoles. Because I think the whole thing with the Switch is it's portable. But at this point, who's using a Switch outside? Well, you might be playing Pokemon Go apparently, because Pokemon Go apparently generated 1.92 billion revenue in 2020.
What?
It's a game where you have to go outside and catch Pokemon, and I don't understand how it made so much money in a pandemic year.
Yeah, and you wrote down like the other one that you were comparing it to. Okay, I was like, I don't understand
Well, because we have literally Minecraft Earth is shutting down in June 2021 because they said,
Yeah.
"Hey, the pandemic's not a good time for a game when you have to go outside and collect things." And the thing is, Pokemon Go made much money, and I also said the Witcher Go game that was coming out. I was like, "Is this 2020 the best time to launch a mobile?" Go outside and collect things, grindathon kind of game. Apparently not for Minecraft. Apparently very good for Pokemon. So I don't know what
Yeah,
kind of
I
magic they
don't.
have over at Niantic. But yeah.
Maybe there's like this. But wait, like maybe like if you're into Pokemon, like you actually go to a different dimension to like collect Pokemon. That's the
No,
only thing I
no.
can
Because
think
the thing
of.
is,
That makes
Pokemon
sense.
Go is still incredibly popular in 2020, 2021. So we're going
Right.
to have to see, like... Because I think Pokemon is, like, still crazy popular. But I think... Because I think maybe it was the idea that going out and capturing Pokemon was such a good idea that people have wanted to do forever that's why it succeeded. But then
Yeah.
trying to move a game like The Witcher or Minecraft over to that, it's kind of not as intuitive as
Because
Pokemon is.
yeah, I was saying I was recently watching Mumbo Jumbo and Grian,
Go in a
two
van and
Minecraft
go around
YouTubers. They
places
were
and
in. Yeah, like
Minecraft
it's a
Earth.
cool experience, but even watching them mess around with, I'm like, I don't really get the appeal.
Hmm.
Like, what? It's not collecting Pokemon. Like, that's just genius.
Hmm.
Like, you can't beat that.
But so until 2021 June, which is this year, we are in current year, guys.
Yeah, I keep forgetting it's
Yeah,
2020 now.
I keep thinking it's 2020, and I'm
Yeah,
waiting for
I
this
keep saying
nightmare to
this
end.
year, but I'm referring to 2020.
Anyway, but until then, if you do want to play the game because it's not shut down yet, they're removing all the real money transactions. They are drastically reducing Ruby costs. They are releasing all completed unreleased content currently in the pipeline, so anything they were working on that was going to come out will just come out now. And they are
Yeah.
reducing time requirements for crafting and smelting. So it should be a lot quicker to build whatever you want to build.
Why are the
Or whatever
time
you do in
requirements for
my... I
crafting?
think you can do redstone in Minecraft Earth, can't you?
Yeah,
I had heard that.
it's a bit weird, but you can. I think you can even detect like players in the world as well.
Hmm.
It's kind of cool.
Anyway. We also got a trailer for the new DLC being added to Super Mario World 3D. So I don't know if you remember, we talked about this. Super Mario World 3D was a Wii U game. It's now
Yeah.
being ported to the Switch, but they're
Mm-hmm.
making a brand new expansion just for the
That's
Switch
really
version,
cool.
sort of thing. And I even speculated then, based on the way you move in the Switch version, it looks like you have a different move set, and it seems like seeing
Yeah.
more footage from the Switch DLC version. It seems like you're moving more like you would in Mario Odyssey than you did in 3D
Yes.
World, which is, I think, probably a good thing. More freedom of
What?
movement, sort of thing.
So is at the start of this trailer, I thought it should be renamed to Bowser's Furry because
Oh,
what the
wait till you
hell
get
is
to the
Mario?
end of the trailer. Wait till you get to the end of the trailer. That's the best
What
part.
the
If
hell
you're
is
into
going on?
if you're into furries, you're gonna love this game, guys. There's plenty of furry stuff. There's plenty of
It's a
Mario
lot.
dressing up in
This whole island is
fursuits.
furries.
Yeah, I'm kind of pro furries now, guys. After seeing this trailer, Browser is fucking terrifying in this trailer.
Yeah.
It reminds
What
me of
is?
it's
Oh.
like ink everywhere. It reminds me of like Epic Mickey. Is that what it's called when he had like the paintbrush game?
Oh yeah. I can't
Hmm.
remember what it's called, but yeah. What the hell is going on? This is an insane trailer.
It looks yeah, Epic Mickey's the one with the paintbrush.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, it was like a platforming game where you have to like paint things. I never played that actually, and I always wanted to play it. Is it on PC? Or is it
I don't know.
Epic Mickey 2 The Power of Two is on Steam. The second
Yeah,
one.
Nintendo keep releasing Mario games I really want to play recently.
Well,
Like,
Tony, wait for the Switch Pro to come out at some point.
yeah. Then I can't buy it and buy it from a scalper, right?
Yes, it is the time that you can't buy anything.
Well, you couldn't. Well, the first thing that we couldn't buy in 2020 was the Nintendo Switch. That's like the first big news thing.
It was because of the Animal Crossing phase. In
Yeah.
like what was it, March, April, sometime around then. It
Yeah,
just
it's
sold
March,
like
April, May-ish.
crazy.
It was like the start of no Switches, and you buy them on eBay, and
And they
everyone's like,
also
"Oh
they
well."
also did like the Super Mario 3D All Stars, where you could play all of the old Mario games ported to the Switch or
That's so cool.
emulated on the Switch, I should say.
Yeah, that's so cool though.
But yeah. Oh, this game looks really cool. If I had a Switch, I would be playing it on February 12th. So
Yeah.
add it to
Yeah.
the list of games that I can't play because they're locked behind Nintendo's consoles.
I mean, they're also making themselves, so I can't really complain. But yeah,
No, it's true.
it would be cool if it was on PC as well. But
Do you think Nintendo will ever release one of their games on PC?
no,
Well, because you can already play
not
a
in our
PC.
lifetime.
You can already play a PC port of Super Mario 64, but if you if you try and talk about that, you'll have a couple lawyers knocking on the door.
Well, just compile it yourself. That's how you
Yeah,
get
it's true.
around that one.
Fallout: The Frontier. Have you heard of this, Tony, at all? This is kind of big news.
I've seen this as big news, but I've not really wanted to look at it actually. But
Okay, so
yeah,
it came out yesterday.
yeah,
Quite possibly one of the biggest Fallout mods ever to release.
I think it is the biggest, but yeah.
So it features stuff like drivable cars in New Vegas,
Yeah.
which if you don't know is insane because there was no drivable cars in New Vegas. There was
vehicles in any Fallout game, is there?
Well, you could be like the gunner in the back of somebody else driving, but they could never get like drivable cars to work. If you don't know,
I've seen mods where they tried to put cars into Fallout 4 and it's a glitchy mess. So
yeah, so New Vegas uses Fallout 3 game engine Bro, which is even harder to work with than Skyrim's creation engine. So that should tell you like how hard it is to work with.
It's actually a miracle that Obsidian made Vegas in 18 months. Like,
it's insane.
A year and a half.
And it's insane to think that like Fallout 76 was made in like 18 months or something. How long was Fallout 76? And they gave it to like a random Texas studio. I think it had like like you can see like the difference in quality. Not to say that the poor people who were forced to work on Fallout 76 did like a terrible job based on what they were given.
Yeah, it's not their fault.
Yeah, but it's just different times, really.
Todd Howard's fault.
Yeah, fuck Todd Howard.
So it was a terrible idea to begin with, in my opinion.
But yeah, so
Fallout.
Drivable cars in New Vegas. That, if you don't know, that's fucking huge. 3 different factions are in this. You are set in snowy Portland. I think one of them's like a different variation of another faction from New Vegas, but I think the other 2 are kind of newer factions.
Okay. I'm down.
But the cool thing is, each one has like their own separate campaign, and they all have different styles. Some of the factions are more dialogue based, whereas there's another faction where it's like straight up combat focused, and there's like a structured campaign where you go across with them and you like shoot people, and there's a lot of like gunfights and stuff. There's like they've made like custom cutscenes. There's as much voice acting in this mod than there is in the entirety of Fallout 3. Just to show you how much voice acting is in this freaking mod.
How long have you been working on this for?
I think like I want to say like 5 years maybe. Let me check because I don't want to give out any false information, because I've literally only heard about this like literally the past week. Because one of the big things I was like, holy shit, it has a Steam page. Like, you don't normally get like a Fallout mod with like a Steam page. That's kind of crazy. Let's have a look. Fallout the Frontier. When did Fallout the Frontier to start development. If it's like a mod, it's like harder to find out. I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm gonna have to read a lot to figure it out because it's not like well publicized. But
yeah,
let's just say they've been working on it for some time, probably.
You say probably. I think most definitely.
It's almost certain they've been working on this for several years. There's no way they haven't.
At least.
Is it bad that saying like they're driving around reminds me of like Cyberpunk almost? But it's just because it's that kind.
Why is that bad?
Well, Cyberpunk is a broken mess, but
driving isn't that broken, is it?
Kind of. But the thing is that like because Cyberpunk has that like mix of it's an RPG, but let's put like GTA driving into it randomly or something, which that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Because apparently I don't know. Are we going to talk about this? I don't know. Because apparently, like, I'll finish talking about Fallout first, and then I'll talk about it.
Okay.
So if you don't know Tony, here's the Nexus page for it, because you can download it now from the Nexus. The Steam version has been delayed a week, so if you want to download it off Steam, you have to wait a week. When this released on Nexus mods, Tony, this actually crashed the Nexus mods website. The entire servers went down. They said the massive interest in Fallout the Frontier combined is really hammering our servers tonight. Thank you for our patience. So that's what I'm saying. This is
downloads 32,000 already.
32,000 people have downloaded already. Jesus.
Yeah, already.
It came out.
Insane.
It came out yesterday, Tony. It came out yesterday.
That's insane.
So
you normally get at most I don't know. I think the most I've ever seen in a couple of days is 5,000, and it slowly creeps up every day. This is crazy.
There is a crazy amount of hype around this this mod pack right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, what I don't understand is total downloads is 90,000, unique downloads is 33,000. Can you explain to me that?
I don't know.
What are they doing?
So, this requires Fallout New Vegas, and it's 4 DLC packs to play. Yeah. Because I was looking into it, and I have Fallout 4 on. I have Fallout 4 on Steam. I have Fallout New Vegas on Steam, but I don't have any of the DLC because it confused me. Because on the Steam page, it doesn't say. It just says you need Fallout New Vegas to play this game on the little yellow mod thing. But it isn't until you read the description it says, hey, you need all the DLC to play this sort of thing.
So did you buy Fallout New Vegas close to release?
No, but I didn't buy it recently. So it's kind of like...
okay, so you didn't get the Ultimate Edition?
No, I don't have the Game of the Year edition. But I have... I think I must have bought a Bethesda bundle at some point. Because I have played through Fallout 3 Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, I think I have that one.
But I'm very interested. I haven't played New Vegas yet, and the reason I haven't played New Vegas yet is because I was kind of holding off waiting for because I know how broken New Vegas is on
It's really hard to launch.
As someone who's played through Fallout 3, I know how hard it is to get the game to actually run on that engine.
Yeah, and it's an engine problem, not a game problem either. It's really difficult.
So I was like, hey, if somebody wanted to take it into the creation engine, because I know there's literally someone who's working on a project where they've remaking New Vegas on the Fallout 4 game. Yeah, just I'm pretty interested in that because I think, although a bit dated now, the Fallout 4 engine is definitely, the creation engine is a lot easier to use than the Game Bro engine. So
yeah.
But yeah, so it's pretty cool. More information. Players are recommended to start a new save file in the base game. It's recommended you have a fresh install of Fallout New Vegas. They have a list of compatible mods, including apparently that it's compatible with Fallout: A Tale of Two Cities. I think that's what it's called. If you don't know what that is, there's a mod for Fallout 3 in New Vegas that lets you travel freely between New Vegas and Fallout 3 via a train and keep the same character. So that's pretty fucking cool. A
Yeah.
Tale of Two Wastelands. That's what it's called. So apparently,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
if it's
yeah.
compatible with Tale of Two Wastelands, obviously I don't know yet because I haven't tested it. But according to them, you could potentially travel between the Mojave Desert in New Vegas, Portland in the Frontier, and then Fallout 3 is set somewhere. Where is Fallout 3? It's Washington, right? Because there's all the president stuff that I remember playing.
Ah, right.
It's set in like Washington DC, I think. Yeah, Washington DC. Yeah, because there's like lots of like White House and president stuff in like Fallout 3 from what I remember
Yeah.
playing of it. So yeah, that
It's a lot of
potentially
old money stuff.
it could be like a. If you wanted to, you could have like a huge game where you just travel between all these different locations, which would be really fucking cool. But well, maybe we'll come back to the Frontier because I want to talk about it a bit more once we've seen people like get their teeth in it and play it a bit more. Because
Yeah,
obviously
that'd
it's
be
just come out on Nexus mods, so I just wanted to say, hey, like it's always cool when a really big mod that's been hyped and like has been in development for a long time finally comes out. Like because this is like for Fallout fans, this is Black Mesa tier sort of thing. This is like a huge mod sort of thing.
It's pretty big.
Like them releasing drivable cars as a mod pack would be a big thing, but it's like included in like a brand new game almost, which is like crazy. And it's just like it just goes to show how much people want to play single player Fallout games. Todd Howard.
Yeah. But as I say, like these big projects seem to like create lots of side projects along the side of it. Like, oh, we want to make this more interesting, so can we get other developers or modders to make this other thing that we can integrate into the main package, which I find quite interesting.
Anyway, what I was gonna say is
Real gamers.
recently there came out a Jason Schreier article about the development inside Cyberpunk, and some of the developers gave like their accounts of everything that was coming.
Yeah.
And basically what they were saying was basically they all of them said the game's unfinished. Like they didn't want it to come out. A lot of them were saying stuff like people assumed since they gave us like a cut of the profits, we were getting paid lots of money, and that buying Cyberpunk would give a lot of money to developers. Some people were saying that they were making like $400 a month, and then afterwards they were making like $700, and it was like it's still like they were finding it hard to live on that amount of money in like Poland and stuff. Kind of crazy.
Massive crunch for the last like 6 months before the game came out.
Yeah, and another thing, the reason I was talking about it, apparently, I don't know if you know this because I know you haven't played Cyberpunk, but there's a police system in Cyberpunk where if you break the law, then cops get called and they come and attack you.
Yep.
The Cyberpunk was just going to be a straightforward RPG sort of thing. The drivable cars and the GTA style police system, apparently that was added like last minute. That was just like, fuck, we're just going to throw this in the game at the last second, which is why it's so like underdeveloped.
Yeah, considering how the police spawn, like what Skyrim guards are spawning out of nowhere to come and arrest you.
You violated the law!
Yeah, you can see them spawning in. It's so dumb. Like it's clearly not on the same level as something like GTA 5. Where it's like a really in-depth
here's another great thing that they said, where they were saying there won't be like crunch. They said one Seedy Project Red developer told their manager they did not want to work overtime as the CEO had said that would be okay. Their manager said fine, but one of your other co-workers will have to work extra hours to make up for you.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Yeah,
so basically they were like,
"Oh, we're not going to do crunch." They've been crunching for like most of 2020. It's like it's so dumb.
It's like, hey, you don't want to take this punishment? Fine, we'll punish one of the other friends and let them know
Communism.
That you didn't want to take it, so now they have to take it. It's like, oh my god. Oh jeez, kind of
Free shit.
I just thought I'd talk about that quickly. Obviously, everyone knows that the Cyberpunk's a buggy mess, but it stems from investors pushing for a game to come out while developers aren't ready.
Bad project
game, even under crunch. Even after they crunch this motherfucker in, like
I recently I think it was last week. I finally watched Jim Sterling's like top games of 2020, and it was like
Right.
Hades did not have crunch time, so
Right.
that's kind of cool.
That is cool to see.
Yeah,
There was that's Supergiant Games, right? That's
yeah,
and it was partly funded by Epic Games, right?
yep. It was released early on
Hmm.
Epic. It was released in early access to get more funding from people. And it's like then
Hmm.
was released, and it's like, oh, that's really cool.
Hmm.
I have no idea how the early access worked for that game, by the way. Like, I think I bought it in early access, but never played it. So,
I think they just released updates like periodically on Epic when it was
but
in
how?
early.
But I assume there's no story attached to it.
Yeah, I know that to be honest with you, I go blind into games and I don't know
Yeah,
much about Hades
I
other than
was
it's a
waiting for it to be
roguelite
finished.
with a story.
Yeah, but because I know that other game, I was like, I feel like if they release any of the story already, I don't want to play it until it's complete. So,
Right.
but yeah, I kind of just buy all their games at this point, even the ones no one remembers because they weren't that great.
Which games?
I think it's like Pyre or something. To be fair, I got that for free buying Hades, so I can't really complain.
Okay.
Was it?
Let's get on
Yeah,
to the quick
no one
news.
remembers it. Quick news. Speedrun.
Because getting distracted. I wasn't even going to talk about this, but I thought it was interesting to mention.
Yeah,
Given
yeah.
oh, because
Tangerine.
CD Project Red also put out like a roadmap of when they want to like fix things.
Yes.
I don't know if you saw that at all.
With the apology, right?
Yeah, they put out like an apology, which
Well,
I guess is
quote
good of
unquote
them.
apology. It doesn't actually
Yeah.
address everything, but sure.
The commitment to quality. I'll just show the roadmap quickly.
I like how they have a commitment to quality, but not a commitment to tell the truth or to their own developers.
Well, Tony, are you going to be pre-ordering a game again? That's the real. You pre-ordered Cyberpunk after I said, "Why the hell are you pre-ordering Cyberpunk?"
I'm so happy I pre-ordered Cyberpunk. Though,
Okay.
I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, you got the. Yeah, but that's even worse if the game's like not that good, and now you have this permanent memorabilia.
Yeah, but I still think Cyberpunk is good.
Yeah.
I think it's a buggy mess and it needs more work done. But
But you like the art.
Worth owning. Yeah, the art stuff is really good, and I like the idea of the saying as well enough. Like it has like enough momentum for me, where it's like it looks good enough to like I can like appreciate it for that at least. Yeah, I'm so happy I've got this.
Okay. Yeah. So they said like start of this year they're going to do the 1.1 and the 1.2 patch to like fix the console versions and make it less bussy, and then free DLC is coming at some point, and then next gen console update will be coming at the end of the year. So
I might be misremembering this, but like, didn't it? Like, he said they're going to fix next gen consoles. That's like its wording, right?
Basically, Tony, I don't know if you know this, but the games running on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X are the PS4 and the PS4 and the Xbox One versions, but on the better hardware. There's not even a PS5 version or a Series X version of the game yet. So that's coming at the end of the year.
So they were pulled from the lower versions because it just couldn't run it. But
so the PS4 couldn't run the game, but the PS5 can run the version that doesn't doesn't have like the ray tracing, any of the superior graphics or anything. Because still, I think to this day, Cyberpunk doesn't have ray tracing on AMD. They said they wouldn't have ray tracing on AMD cards at launch, and both of the consoles are AMD RDNA 2 run consoles, so they can't have ray tracing until they even add that to PC. So.
Kind of released at completely the wrong time.
It's almost like Cyberpunk shouldn't have been released when it was.
But why did they try and do a stupid like they've done it? They've been so good in the past where they release the PC version first, and then take their time doing the ports for the consoles.
Investors.
More time to get the Switch version.
The problem was the game became bigger than CG Project Red.
But they should have announced the release date so early.
The problem is that there's so much investor pressure to release the game that they just had to at some point.
Yeah, but now the investors are suing them for lying.
Yep.
So just tell the truth. That's the answer.
There's no ship that's too big to sink. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Well, bigger the ship, the more unsinkable it seems, that the quicker it sinks, is my opinion.
Okay. Right. Quick news. Gearbox has reached an agreement with Bobby Prince for the use of Duke Nukem music. Don't know if we talked about this earlier, that Bobby Prince was filing a lawsuit against Gearbox because he owned the copyright to some of the music in the Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour.
Wasn't this the one time we were sympathetic towards Gearbox?
Yeah, because
we understood that it wasn't their fault.
So Prince said the use of his music in the earlier game was subject to a license agreement between him and 3D Realms.
Yeah.
But Gearbox did not own the rights to a certain music it thought it owned the rights to.
But they didn't know when they bought the
because Gearbox bought the rights to Duke Nukem franchise.
Previous owners didn't tell them about this license.
Yeah.
So, I did see someone point out that maybe they should have done their research, and that's kind of their job. But at the same time, I don't know. It's a complete mess. It's really hard to know who owns what, who has license to what. It's really complicated.
So in 2015, Gearbox insisted it was the full and rightful owner of the Duke Nukem franchise, but 5 years later, Gearbox sued 3D Realms again because the breach of contract related to the rights to the game's music, because they were saying that 3D Realms lied to them about the music rights, which is where the this lawsuit comes into play. But it seems like they've reached an agreement with Bobby Prince, said, hey, we got fucked by 3D Realms, you got fucked by 3D Realms, let's just make an agreement sort of thing.
Everyone did. Yeah. Gearbox didn't do a bad. That's that news.
Wow, listen to this quote from Prince. I'm glad to announce today that the matter with Gearbox was all of productive discussion. We reached an agreement that will allow my music and sound to remain in Duke Nukem 3D 20th Anniversary World Tour. I appreciate Randy Pitchford and Gearbox for this collaboration, partnership, and understanding. I'm thankful that we put this behind us and move forward. I appreciate Randy Pitchford. That's a sentence I didn't think I'd read.
Is that a 2021 quote?
Yeah.
Well, we're off to a great
We've got a quote from Randy Pitchford himself as well.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Gearbox founder Randy Pitchford issued a statement of his own. Bobby Prince has been and remains a valuable contributor to the Gearbox family. We appreciate Bobby and his team working with us to clear up the misunderstandings and confusion. He's an incredible artist and we value his contribution to our works. Gearbox said it sorted out the lawsuit after a thorough review revealed Prince's concerns rested with 3D Realms.
Randy Pitchford. Well, at least he didn't fuck up this time, I guess.
So it seems
I guess one for him.
As part of the settlement, all parties have agreed to dismiss all the claims with the courts, and it seems like 3D Realms is taking the blame, admitting the license with Bobby Prince was inadvertently overlooked. 3D Realms said, we at 3D Realms appreciate Bobby Prince, Randy Pitchford, and the Gearbox team. They appreciate the most people for working with us to address the concerns raised in Mr. Prince's lawsuit. After review from our counsel, a license with Bobby was inadvertently overlooked by 3D Realms when we sold Gearbox the Duke Nukem catalogue. We are relieved to have the issues resolved and extend our best to everyone. So, seems like it was 3D Realms fucking up there, which is this agreement is good to come through.
At least that's what everyone's saying, so it must be true.
So we got a big Stardew Valley update is out now. Stardew Valley 1.5 adds new beach farm type, advanced option menu, local split screen co-op, new people to meet, new goals, new items, new quests, new characters, home renovations. Ducks can now swim, guys. That's the patch note I want you to take home. You can wait. Hold up a minute. You can now sit in chairs. Let's go, dude.
You can move your bed. That's free.
A bunch of new furniture items, new secrets, and 9 new music tracks. So, yeah, I like Stardew Valley. I feel like I have not played enough of it as I would like. because
Okay.
I keep starting farms with my friends and then never going back to them, sort of thing. Like not because I don't like the game, but because
Don't let your
it just
friends.
yeah, I just hate them. Just hate them. It's just because we're never on at the same time. It's one of those
Yeah.
things where we're just never on at the same time.
Or don't want to do the same thing at the same time.
Maybe I should. Maybe I should start my own farm where I can sell all of our money. It's like because the whole time it was like it was before the shed. It was before you could split up the money, and I was always like, it was like my friend was like, I'm gonna go buy seeds for our farm for the winter, and I'm like, yeah, but I want to buy windows for the house so we can decorate. So yeah,
Decoration comes after the farm.
there's more furniture, and you can now sit in your hard-earned chairs. That's where we've got to spend all of our farm money on new furniture to pimp out the house. That's the true
Yeah.
dream. Okay, next up we have Netflix to shut down on 3DS and the Wii U. You will no longer be able to use the Netflix app on those two platforms. I pointed this out just to show you it's been 3 years and you still can't fucking use Netflix on the Switch, despite it still being available on the Wii until 2020. Like the original Wii.
Can you explain to me why it needs to be removed though? Why just not leave it and let it die slowly?
So they don't have to do security updates for it.
Yeah. Just say we're not going to support it anymore. So like, at your own risk, use it.
I don't know. Probably like just the support. It just wasn't worth it at all, sort of thing.
Yeah, but I find it weird that you can't use it at all, and like removing it from like being possible to install again. I guess
Yeah,
it's
I
like they
don't
had
know.
to host it on their servers, I guess,
Hmm.
but I don't know.
I
It's
don't know how it
just
works.
I'm
Uh,
sure you could still download, put it on there in some weird hacky
While the
way.
Switch lacks many common media streaming apps, it offers the ability to stream certain servers. In the US, you can stream Hulu. Japan, you can stream
Okay.
Nico Nico, my Nugo Nugo ancestors.
What
Last
is Nico
month,
Nico?
it's like a Japanese thing. I don't know. Billy Harrington was always talking about it in Gachi videos.
Yeah.
As we can. Well, the thing is, they won't be able to watch the 3D animated Sonic series due out in 2022. So, shame on them.
Well, they've got a year to sort it out, so.
Yeah. We got a Steam client beta update. The January 5th, 2021 update added extended support for Xbox controllers and the Wooting 2 keyboard support. I was like, oh, cool, they did the PS5 update for the new PS5 controller.
Yeah,
They're
that's
now
really
doing the
cool.
support for the new Xbox controller. And then I went,
Yeah.
what the fuck is a Wooting 2 keyboard?
Oh yeah, we were on like a massive. Yeah, we looked at this.
And I was like, oh, I remember this keyboard. I remember looking at the Wooting
Yeah.
1 where every single key is an analog button. So you can put different amounts of pressure to indicate speed.
Yeah, I still think this is a really good idea.
So for like, I remember the big example they showed off this keyboard was when racing games, obviously way
Yeah,
better on an analog
that's-
stick where you can indicate how
Wouldn't-
much pressure you want to put
Wouldn't
on.
it even wouldn't it even be useful in like a GTA, like an RP GTA 5 sort of thing? Like you could like control your speeds of
Yeah,
your vehicle and your character.
yeah, because you could. Obviously, racing is a great example. Walking versus sprinting, because obviously on an
Yeah.
analog stick, or like you put less pressure on for like walking rather than
A lot
going
of
fast.
I remember there's some PS3 games where like it could like tell if you're like walking slowly, walking quickly, or jogging, like just from like without that a sprint button, just by how much you push the analog stick forward.
So the support is not. So I read someone commented on this. I think it was on Reddit, and they're talking about how they have the Wooting keyboard, and they were saying the support is not great before this up.
Right.
This is from before this update on Steam,
Yeah,
so maybe
yeah.
it's better. I haven't revisited it yet.
I
But they
saw
said
issues.
basically most games got really confused between controller and keyboard, so they would say it would show like controller buttons and then you would do something else on it, and then it would show like keyboard buttons, and it would keep switching
didn't
between
it-
the two and get really confused because it was like,
Yeah.
wait, you're putting pressure on this like an analog stick, this is a gamepad, wait, you're typing on this is a keyboard, I don't know which one you're using, this is confusing.
Yeah. I found it interesting. That's the way they are detecting it before, though. Like, oh, if you're putting varied inputs in, it must be a controller. It's a bit weird.
Well, it's because every
Yeah, hopefully
single
that's
key is an
fixed.
analog stick on this. I just find that kind of
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
It's just
amazing.
this is in my pile. This is in my pile of cool, expensive shit that I would probably never need, but would be cool to own just to piss about with.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really, I really like this idea, like being able to
Mm.
have that's like because it's what like I don't know. Okay, I feel like I would have to watch a review of this, but like if it gave you like feedback on like the pressure resistance increase as you pushed it down, that'd be really cool as well. Because like I find a lot of well, mine have keyboard anyway. Like there's
Mm.
not much resistance to me pushing against it. It'd be kind of cool if it could give you that feedback.
The recommended games they have this is GTA 5, as you mentioned,
Oh,
PUBG,
nice.
Rocket
Pub-
League, Trackmania, Dirt 4. I don't understand PUBG, but Rocket League, Trackmania, Dirt 4 I understand.
Yeah, because that just says driving in PUBG.
Let's have a look at this video. Yeah, it's showing off the driving in PUBG, and they're like, PUBG's a popular game, I guess.
Fuck is utility?
Wootility? What? That sounds like
At
the
the top
Wu-Tang
of their
Clan.
page is like, to download utility.
That is their remapping software, I think.
Okay.
So you can move, because each individual key is an analog, you can
Yeah.
basically just, as long as the keycap's the same size, you can just swap them around in the software and then move the physical caps, sort of thing.
Right.
Obviously, you wouldn't want to put your spacebar where your enter key is. That might not be the best use of that keycap. But yeah, pretty interesting technology that I forgot about and then realized existed after it's been like, I think it's like kickstarted now, so you can go and buy them. I think the Wu-Ting 2 is like their big.
Yeah, it's 160 euros. I don't know
Yeah.
what's that in imperial money? Come on, guys. The Queen's money.
I would translate it, but they do a thing where they make it like more expensive, like £142 keyboard. So if
Yeah, I
you
don't
know
the
like
prices
expensive
work.
mechanical keyboards, then yeah, that's not crazy. But
That's
if you're like looking at this
it's
from like
it's on the high
perspective,
end, but it's not the craziest.
yeah. Anyway, quick news: NPCs in The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild are actually just advanced Mii's. Someone discovered this.
What?
So with
Sorry?
modding, they found it's possible to convert and import Mii's into The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild as NPCs.
What?
So the way they did this over at Nintendo to make a lot of the characters in Breath of the Wild is they just like imported Mii's and then like injected them onto models, and then it turned them into like very quick and easy to make NPCs. So like, well, we already have this character creation tool. Why don't we make it so you can just use this to make NPCs for Breath of the Wild? And that's what they did.
Okay. So it's like you're taking like one. It's like taking like a World of Warcraft character creation engine and going, "Wow, we get this new MMO coming out. Let's just convert that character creation output
Tony,
and recreate our own
the
output."
World of Warcraft engine is made from Warcraft 3 from
Fair
2004.
enough.
So,
Fair enough.
but they've shown like various examples, like Matt from Wii Sports as a NPC. It looks pretty cool, and they said that
Yeah, these examples are insane.
but they basically said that I think they're doing commissions to like import Mii's of people, but then they said they also have a website that's dedicated to documenting this for history, so they'll be going into more details about how it works, sort of thing. So if you're interested, check that out on the Mii Library website. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, Tony. Oh, no, this one. Mad Max and Shadow of Mordor have been delisted for Linux and Mac OS on Steam. And I was like, oh, okay. But then I learned that. So Feral Interactive stated, "Hi, these games have been removed from sale on Mac OS Linux due to their license expiring," which then led me to realize that you can get a specific license for the Linux or Mac OS version of a game. So sometimes so a game comes out and then so like Middle-earth Shadow and Mordor, that's Warner Brothers published, but then the Mac
Yeah.
Linux version is published by Feral Interactive. So they maintain the license for that version of the game on those systems, sort of thing. But I thought that
Right.
was pretty interesting. So Feral Interactive ported and published the Linux and Mac OS versions to get these individual OS licenses. And I was gonna. Oh, I'll talk about that later with Guild Wars 2 as well.
There's a comment here saying as long as it's still in the as long as it remains listed on the Linux depots, I
Yeah.
think that's how you pronounce that. It's like you can still access it. It's just not maintained or something.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm
Yeah,
not very knowledgeable about Linux, so I have to look more into that.
but this person seems to
Oh,
know what the feral storage.
the Star Citizen said, "Hey, we're setting an actual date for when you can beta test Squadron 42, the gun version of I was going to call it Cyberpunk for a second there. Space Cyberpunk,
Space Punk.
Space Cyberpunk Citizen. Star Citizen Squadron 42 has been delayed again, and no
I
gameplay will be shown publicly."
I don't understand Squadron 42, like why it needs to exist at this point.
Yeah, it's going to be very different from like the
Like
actual
it's
main game of Star Citizen
the
at this
whole
point.
a lot of things they want like in Star Citizen, like a lot of it's been being integrated just into base Star Citizen at this point. I don't understand why you need a separate entity. Like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
Well, it
It's
seems
very
like
weird to
if
me.
you, I mean, Star Citizen at this point is Sea of Thieves in space. You fly around and you
Yeah,
do deliveries,
it
basically.
yeah, it's Sea of Thieves combined with Elite Dangerous,
I was gonna
basically.
say if you were like, oh, I really want to play a game that's like more expansive with the Odyssey expansion that just, I think Elite
Hmm.
Dangerous may be a better bet for like if you're looking for a game
Well,
like this.
Elite Dangerous releases in a much like I think it's more its business model makes way more sense for the customer as well. Like because they could actually they release a base game that's a good game,
Yeah.
doesn't have everything the sizes and promises, then add
But then
stuff
they
with
spend like
DLCs that are
several
really good
years
quality.
working on like an
Yeah,
expansion level DLC,
yeah, and yeah, their expansion level DLCs are insane. Like they actually add a lot of stuff.
which is also they gave away the base game for free on Epic. So if you wanted to get
Yeah,
into it, you can. I guess if you didn't get
I would
it,
argue they kind of had to do that because like you like they the base game compared to Horizon or even the new what was the new one called? You just said another one. I've
Odyssey.
forgotten. Odyssey.
Mm,
It's kind of I think Odyssey's gonna like blow the base game out of the water, what I can
right.
see. So kind of have
Yeah.
to give it away in my opinion.
So originally estimated for a 2014 release was Squadron 42. It has now
Yeah.
missed numerous release milestones date since, including Q3 2020 internal beta, which it
I'm
missed.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they're even working. Like I don't think there's any I don't understand the point of it or who it is marketed for. Like who actually wants Squadron 42?
don't know. Angry
'Cause
Kickstarter backers.
yeah, but I think don't they just want Star Citizen though?
I feel like
I don't know.
Star Citizens hit that point where it's like a cult at this point where half of the people who backed it are like pissed off and hate Star Citizen and the other half are like so far gone from reason that they're just
Yeah.
like backing it with no question sort of thing.
And and as with most of these polarizations, the actual real truth is like in the middle.
Yeah,
So
as an unbiased person, Star Citizen is
it
as an okay functional game, but it's
yeah,
really kind of bare
it's
bones.
getting better over time, but like they've done shady things to get the money to do that, and okay, I was watching because I still keep track of like Star Citizen news and like I subscribe to a couple of people on
Hmm.
it, and I was asking this then, you know they started like working on it in like I guess the engine technically in 2013 or 2014.
Right.
They could have just waited until like 2017 and worked on it, and they wouldn't have to do like lots of engine reshifts. Like it's like
Yeah,
I
but
feel
you
like they just
can't
wasted their
know that.
time.
You can't they're like, let's wait like 3 years and then maybe someone will make a new engine that
No,
we can use
but their
instead.
scope was so massive that they've taken so long. They've probably waited some because I read. I think it, earlier today I saw that like they're getting a new CryEngine license because they want to upgrade again.
Wait, they're making this in CryEngine?
Yes,
Why?
It
Because it's
was
so
originally their own
old.
thing. This
Ah,
like they
okay.
wasted so much time on the engine.
Yeah, I see what you're
It's
saying now. Because you
insane.
could make a lot of this like pretty easy in like UE4 or like Unity.
Yeah. If they had just like their scope was too big at the time, like it was like massive. Like they didn't have the technology to do what they wanted to do. They could have like had the Kickstarter in 2017, 2016. Trump could have been out, but they could have released it.
What do you think is going to come first, Star Citizen or Source 2 coming out as being
Source 2.
released? Yeah,
Genuinely.
yeah, I think Source 2. Given that we already
I
have a
I
Source 2 game and a Source 2
yeah.
Dota 2 and Sandbox, please, Gary Newman, do more
Well,
Sandbox stuff.
yeah. I'm so impressed with like the updates and like the direction it's going. You know, like I was like a couple years ago, like really confused what the hell they were trying to do. Like
Hmm.
now I can see the Star Citizen vision coming together. Like it makes sense to me now. But yeah, I just feel like they've wasted a lot of people's money and time.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is coming to iOS, Android on January 21st. This is without microtransaction or hidden paywalls. They're going to be giving you the full game experience for $9. So this is kind of crazy that they're just
That's
releasing the
pretty
whole
good.
game on mobile. It looks pretty cool. So yeah,
Yeah.
actually, I think I almost got this in the sale. I think SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom does look pretty fun.
Yeah, I think
Um,
I looked at it as well.
so check that one
Maybe
out.
that's because you were
Tony, do you
looking
know
at
about
it.
this? Near Tomato has had its last secret found. There was a cheat code in the game that lets you skip to the last ending immediately after killing the first boss and unlock the bonus modes. And it's been confirmed by the
Interesting.
dev. It is not a glitch. It is an intended cheat code in the game.
Interesting. So we now know all the secrets.
Yep. So every
All
single
all
secret
stones
of
unturned.
Near Tomato have been found, but there's another Tomato game in the Tomato series. This is
New
one.
secrets.
This is one strand in the Strand series of tomatoes.
I
So
still don't understand the new game they announced. I don't
I don't
understand the
know.
appeal of it at all.
Apple
So
has removed 39,000 games from China's store in the biggest single day takedown. Although this is probably not due to censorship. This is more to do with more related to increased IP certification, whereas they're trying to get people
right.
to pay more to have their games certified by a Chinese publisher. We talked about this
Yeah.
before, how if you want to publish a game in China, you have to go through a Chinese publisher, and that's how
So
they make a lot of money.
so what we're saying is it's not scummy because it's censorship. It's just scummy because they're forcing you to like pay China even more money.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. PUBG 2.0 and PUBG 2.0 Mobile have been confirmed. The thing that confused me about this is, don't they have to finish PUBG 1 first? Isn't that a bit of a...
Wait, isn't PUBG out now?
Well, yeah, PUBG is 1.0, but I think it's still a bit of a buggy mess. So, are they not going to
Yeah,
finish
but it's got the
PUBG
1.0
first?
stuff.
Okay, it's finished, guys. It's got the 1.0
Yeah.
stamp of approval.
It's
Uh,
Fortnite only recently got released, right? They got the 1.0.
Epic Games has acquired RAD game tools. RAD compression technology is used to improve the load time and quality. It's used in Fortnite. This is a big. I wonder if this compression tool was used on Hitman. That's a great question. I don't know if we'll ever find out. But if you don't know, RAD's quite an old hat sort of thing because they made the original Bink video. If you look at the link, Tony, you look at the Bink video sign, you've probably seen this logo at least one time while launching up an old video game. They're kind of like a legendary old video
Oh,
game
yeah.
software, yeah. So cool to see that they're still around. They're still like doing stuff in
Our
movies and
work,
TV and stuff like that.
our work with Epic goes back decades.
Yep.
How many decades?
Five decades.
Okay.
Yeah, probably like two, I would say, maybe three.
Okay. Like
Wait,
25 years or so.
how long is a decade again?
10.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I thought it was 10, but I just double checking. Magic the Gathering
It could be one
Arena
of those
is
Fortnite
coming to
things.
Android early access on. Well, Epic made like Unreal, like
Yeah, I
back
was
in the
trying to
day,
figure
sort of
out
thing.
when was Epic even found it?
Long time ago.
Yeah.
People know them as like the Fortnite guys, but they've been around since
They were known as Unreal
1991.
guys for longer. Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, you gotta
That's
think.
almost
You gotta think
almost
about
30
like the
years.
Unreal Tournament sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Like
that's what you can
they've been
go
around a
for.
very long time. Magic the Gathering Arena is coming to Android early access on January 28th, with additional Android device and iOS support coming later this year.
How does this
Tony,
take so long?
how did this take so long? Imagine, Tony, imagine trying. You know how hard it is to get a Magic the Gathering game with all the unique, complicated mechanics running on a PC? Imagine running it on a phone now. I think that's the reason it's taken so long. It's not
I
like
don't know. I
it's
just
not
thought
like
they'd
fucking
get more money.
Hearthstone where you have a minion with like one attack. It's like there are very unique, complicated interactions in Magic, and there's lots of them.
Yeah, but surely if you have to, I don't know. I surely you just need to make it like if you saved it in a structure that made sense, you could just import that structure, then make the rest of the engine around it. Like I don't
Well,
know.
the Android recommended specs are 6.0 or Marshmallow, as they like to give them these names. 4 gigabytes of RAM, required chipsets,
That's
a
quite an old
R
Android.
970, a Snapdragon 845, a Exynos 9810. Support devices are the ROG phones, the Galaxy Note 10, Google Pixel 3, Huawei's, Oppo's,
So I think I
OnePlus's.
can almost run this, but not quite.
What phone do you have?
The OnePlus 6T is from a couple
OnePlus
years ago now,
6T
though.
is on the support devices.
Oh, is it?
Yep, it's on the support
Okay,
devices, so you seem to be good here. If you
interesting.
want to play Magic the Gathering Arena on your phone, I feel like it would be a
I think
terrible experience, but it's going to be. Maybe it's because I have a small phone screen, like way smaller than like most people at this point. I
the
think
cards will still be quite small on the screen, but I feel like you could get away
because
with
I
it
have like
on
a,
iPhone.
I don't know, I want to say like 5 to 7 inch sort of screen.
Right. Okay.
iPhone SE.
You got like the older phone styles that are smaller.
Yeah, I like.
Like
Yeah, it's like 4.7 inches. So like, I have quite a small
right.
phone screen, which is why like.
Okay.
For me, like playing on this thing, it'd be like interesting to see.
I think mine's 7 inches. So on the same my screen.
But iOS support is coming later, so we'll have to see if I can even run this thing. So.
Hmm.
Max support for Guild Wars 2 is being discontinued for February 18th. This ties into the stuff I was talking about earlier with the
Yeah.
Mad Max Shadow Mordor version get removed. It seems like Apple is moving away from OpenGL to Metal, which is their new like platform of choice to be running thing on, since they're moving to like the M1 chips and stuff, which are
It seems to be
pretty
so
good from what
bad
I've
to
seen.
play games on Apple like all the time. So they're always just moving the goalposts of which will actually run.
So you want to hear something that's going to shock you? This game to this day runs on DirectX 9 and is horribly CPU bound.
Yeah.
It runs on a modified version of the Guild Wars 1 engine from 2005. DirectX 11 was out for 3 years when Guild Wars 2 released. Are you fucking... Apparently, there's a DirectX 12 mod that basically it forces Guild Wars 2 to run on DirectX 12, and it has like a massive boost in performance when people use this.
Is this only for Apple? Is this all Guild Wars 2 at this point?
No, I'm talking about
All of them.
all of them run on DirectX 9.
Right. That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can say yeah, it is incredibly CPU bound. Like it can't. It just can't.
But if they, I don't
That
know.
explains a lot.
Because people were saying, oh, they should update the engine and make a Guild Wars 3, but they're still making, the Dragon expansion for Guild Wars 2. I think
Yeah. And they're not making money, so
they're
why would
building
they
they're
do
building
that?
on the Sandyland right now, and
Yeah.
it would be nice to see like if somebody can make a
I would
third
love to
party
see Guild Wars
add-on
3.
that ports it to
Yeah.
DirectX 12 and it's giving people big performance boosts, then it'd be nice to see. I would love to see add-on support from the Guild Wars 2 team. Let people
Well, how
use
about
third-party
yeah?
add-ons.
How about this? Why don't they just like get in contact with the modders and actually like get it integrated into their game?
Yeah, that would be great.
Pay the money and like get it integrated.
Because
See if I
ArenaNet
could.
has always had like a weird approach where they've never really supported add-ons for the game,
No, they have
and
community
I don't
stuff and
even
artwork, but nothing else.
because I can't. I can say to you, hey, there's a DirectX 12 mod that may give you a massive performance boost on like your Guild Wars 2, but I don't know if this violates their terms of service because
Yeah,
they seem to have like a
it's really,
really
yeah,
like
I wouldn't risk
weird
it.
relationship with like third
Yeah,
party mods where they just kind of don't acknowledge they exist a lot of the time.
yeah, it's annoying. It'd be nice if they did because a lot of UI tweaks I'd want to do.
Hmm. Anyway, next up we have Counter-Strike Global Offensive has removed bots from competitive. Big reason
Okay.
behind this, people have believed, is because people were kicking the bottom players from ranked so they could replace them with a bot. And then what they would do is then it would give the best player essentially an extra life. Because when you die in CSGO, you can take over a bot's life. So basically, it was leading to lobbies where if you were the bottom fragger in the lobby, people were just kicking you, and then it was like, well, at least a good player gets another chance, sort of thing. And hopefully this will reduce toxicity in CS:GO, where people are getting kicked to try and make space for bots, sort of thing.
Why did the bots need to be in the game in the first place, though?
Well, if somebody disconnects from your game and you now 4v5, at least it's playable if, you have a
Okay.
bot that you can take over when somebody dies, which is
So
why.
why can't they keep the bots if you DC, but not any other way?
Don't know. It seems like they just because they'll still have them in like casual and stuff, but it seems like
Right.
they're just completely removing bots in order to get rid of the toxicity sort of thing.
Okay. How does this integrate with Bully Hunter though? Let me ask you that.
Yeah, bully hunters have a squad of bots ready to hunt you down. Hopefully, this will reduce toxicity in CS:GO, but from my experience of CS:GO, my hopes are very low.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, though, Tony. I didn't think about that. You could have, if someone disconnects from the game, you could
Well,
have
yeah,
it so that.
don't have the people be able to kick you and like create a bot that way, but make it so like if you do actually
I don't know.
genuinely
Being able
disconnect,
to
then you
kick
get
people
bots.
in CS:GO is like a toxic thing at
Okay.
this point. Like, I guess you don't want to be held hostage in a lobby, but the
Yeah.
alternatives are not great. Like kicking people from a game. I don't know. It's like a third party thing, and I don't know.
I think I keep going back to like videos talking about like online communities and like how you should like integrate like into the mechanics of the game to like try and incentivize good behavior and not focus too much on bad. Oh, obviously you need to like punish bad behavior,
Hmm.
but it's more important to focus. Like a lot of games do the banning, but don't do any of the incentives to make you better.
Right, so our last piece of quick news. Hogwarts Legacy will be released in 2022. A lot of people, when they saw the Hogwarts RPG was being announced, were hoping it was coming out 2021. It seems like it will be an extra year before you get your hands on the Hogwarts RPG. I know you're not that hyped for it. I know I fucking love the idea of a Hogwarts RPG. I think
Oh,
it's
I like to do it. I'm just not as hyped
okay.
as you.
Okay, that's fair. But
I'm not
I
entirely
think
sure about the saying. Oh, the time period, I guess.
hmm.
But I'm down for I'm down for the magic system.
Yeah, I'm down to play like a Hogwarts RPG, and I'll play it when it comes out. And hopefully in
But
2022, it'll be a finished game, and it won't release as a buggy
yeah,
mess.
this is one like I definitely wouldn't pre-order because like I've seen a lot of. I'm not a big fan of how a lot of Harry Potter games deal with magic. Like it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah,
So I'd have to see how that works before I even think about the
Okay,
game.
let's move on to main news, and then we'll probably end it after that.
Very quick news.
Slay the Spire board game is coming out. 1 to 4 players. Tony, can you imagine it? A multiplayer deck building game. There's no such,
Sounds great.
nothing exists like that at all.
Never been done before. How card exists?
Well, obviously, we can talk about how Hellcard. Me and you personally, we've had a video come out of us playing Hellcard, and we're like, this is super unpolished and is like early access, but is still insanely fun because there's no other experience like Hellcard that I've found out about, which is multiplayer deck building games, co-op deck building games, which is really fun to play. And
it has like the thing about deck builder games and especially the Hellcard is like it has this mix between being a puzzle game where you have to like figure out the most a puzzle game with multiple endings and multiple parts, I guess, because like you figure out the most efficient way taking out the enemies, and like and then like but there's also multiple paths to, like how you want to build the deck. And
because Hellcard has like positioning as well, which is if you've played like the original Book of Demons, you'll know how like important positioning is in playing Book of Demons.
Yeah, but like even I think Slay the Spire has like stances and things, right? And like stances. It's crazy.
Their new class has stances. Yeah.
Well, there's still this. Okay, but I was still okay. That's I don't know what the official word is, but like there's still like other classes and other enemies that like go between different stages. I don't know what you would call that as like a more generic term.
Yeah,
I would call that stances personally, but I understand that is actually unique to one class in Slay the Spire. But I find it interesting in Hellcard where like there's different stances make a difference depending on where they are. Like that's kind of
archers like they'll deal more damage if they're further away, and like they'll want to move.
Whereas things are like about to explode or they're raging on you for a boss. Like I find that quite interesting.
But the thing to mention about this
is change them.
So Slay the Spire, the board game, it's coming spring 2021 to Kickstarter. I feel like this is the one thing that I would consider Kickstartering. Actually seems like right up my alley, just because of my like fucking 250 hours in Slay the Spire. It's like, okay, my big question is: this is a co-op deck building Slay the Spire. Slay the Spire co-op mode update when? When are we getting this on PC as well? I'd love to see something like this on PC as well. Like, that would be probably my multiplayer game of the year. Would be Slay the Spire co-op. Would be so fun.
So 45 minutes per player. What?
I think is that additional players add 45 minutes?
That's what this means.
One player, it takes 45 minutes. 2 players, that guy's kind of slow. He's going to add another 45 minutes.
Maybe it's like a buffering multiplayer lobby.
If you're underneath 12, Tony, don't even bother. It's got some crazy stuff. Maybe it's a little complicated, but I never thought the Slay the Spire PC game was particularly complicated in like other ways. I don't know. I have Monster Train now, actually, and I haven't played Monster Train yet because I have other games that are big time sinks, and I'm like, I try and not have too many time sinks, otherwise I just lose all of my time. But I've heard like it described like Slay the Spire is a lot more, has a lot more depth in it than Monster Train, where Monster Train's a lot easier to get into, sort of thing, but it doesn't have quite as much depth as Slay the Spire.
I thought, it has different mechanics as well. Like
you control like minions on a train, sort of thing.
Yeah. So
I'll definitely have to check that out at some point. I'm currently wasting time on Forager. That's my time-wasting game.
Yeah, sounds like a good game. Better than wasting time on Minecraft.
Yeah, it's true. Imagine playing Minecraft 2021 current year. RTX 3060. We just had CES. There was a bunch of news announced, but I think the only thing that was interesting was the RTX news from what I've seen. I don't know if you saw anything. There was some rollable phones also where you could like roll out a screen. There was what else? Oh, there was the Razer smart mask with RGB lighting on it. I saw at CES.
He's literally going for all the stupid stuff.
Did you see anything else interesting?
I was gonna say from Linus' stuff. There's the the OLED TV like 2.0.
Oh, yeah, OLED 2.
And
I thought of another stupid thing.
okay.
The see-through OLED, so you can watch a TV behind the TV. What the fuck was that about? What is the use case for that?
I don't know. Again, I feel like you deliberately remembered all the bad ones because they're more memorable.
But there wasn't
Yeah, the
anything
other one I was going to
else.
say is there's the expensive gaming laptop with the external gaming dock, which I actually thought was like a really good form factor. It's ridiculously
Who's that
expensive, but a
for,
really good
though?
form factor. What? The gaming laptop?
Yeah, but who's gonna? The thing is, from what we saw of the external graphics cards, it cost as much as getting a gaming laptop.
Yeah, but if you don't, yeah, the pricing doesn't make any sense considering what you're going to use it for. Like,
Yeah.
if the idea is like you keep your dock at your home, you bring your computer home from your hard work and no
And
gaming whatsoever
Tony,
at
you got to
work.
take this into account as well. You can't get non-external graphics cards. How much are external graphics? The stock of external graphics cards. How many of those are
I
they going to
don't
expect to
know.
sell? Because they can't be pumping these things out, and then people are going to scalp the fuck out of
Maybe
those.
that's why. Maybe that's why it's so expensive. I don't know.
Anyway, we got the announcement of the RTX 3060, not to be confused with the RTX 3060 Ti. You can tell the difference by the fact that this one has insane amounts of fucking VRAM for some reason. So it's going to be $329, and it's going to have comparable performance to an RTX 2070, whereas the 3060 Ti was comparable to the 2080 Super. So this is going to have 12 gigabytes of GDDR6, whereas compared to the RTX 3060 Ti, which is the more powerful card, only has 8 gigabytes of VRAM. This is probably to compete with the AMD 6000 series cards, as the entire stack of AMD 6000 series cards has 16 gigabytes of memory on them. So, because I think from the video I was watching of like JT, he was saying like memory has almost become a marketing tool at this point, because specifically for the 3060, when it comes to memory like that, 12 gigabytes, that's for when you want to push higher resolutions like 4K and stuff. But the amount of like power you're going to need to push those frames, you're not going to get on the 3060 card. Sort of thing where...
Would you not at least get 2K from a 3060 though?
Yeah, I mean, this card is perfect for 1440p gaming. But
Yeah,
then why do you need the extra VRAM? You can do 1440p on 8 gigabytes. Like, you can get a 2080 Super, you can get like a 2060 Super.
From what I'm remembering, there was still an issue where they needed more VRAM for a certain game at 2K. From the
Oh.
graphs that I saw, I think it was something like Tomb Raider or something.
The graphs were comparing the 1060 mostly, I think, and the 2060.
Yeah. I was looking. This is like from benchmarks from like other someone else, not all the other 30 series graphics cards from last year.
Right.
Like I try to remember where they were having. They were trying to figure out if they were trying to theorize whether more VRAM would help their situation.
Okay, so the 3060 does have faster 15 gigabytes per second memory compared to the 14 gigabytes on the Ti, but this is where they're kind of cutting the costs. It has a 192-bit memory interface, which is narrower than the 256-bit interface on the Ti. Remember here, higher is better. And also, it has 3,584 CUDA cores compared to the 4,864,000 CUDA cores on the 3060 Ti. So this is where they're kind of cutting back the cost of that extra memory bank.
So
you're losing a lot of like performance there.
So they should have lowered the memory and like put more specs into the other ones, really.
Yeah, but then why would people get the 3060 Ti?
Hasn't got. Well, no, you know, but it'd still be less than the 3060 Ti. But
Hmm.
like, you could increase these. It's still there's quite a lot from 3,500 to
Well, I think
4,800
like
CUDA cores.
Nvidia is learning from their mistake of the 10,000. So the 1060 and the 1080 Ti are two of their biggest mistakes ever because they made like some of the hardest to replace graphic cards in terms of budget and high end when they made those two
Yeah.
cards. And I think they're trying to make cards that people want to upgrade to, but not so good that they never replace, sort of thing.
Right.
So a positive person would say, well, they can make sure you replace your graphics card by making better graphics cards that you want to upgrade to. A negative
Yeah.
person would say they can kind of kneecap their cards so they don't get all of the features you would need. So at some
Hmm.
point you would kind of need to
They're
upgrade them.
definitely doing that to some extent.
It does have 30
Which is
watts
why
less
you
power
need
draw
AMD.
than the TI
That's true.
version. So there's something
Hmm.
to keep into account. Because, of course, that was another
Well,
selling point of the AMD cards is they have incredibly low power draw compared to the NVIDIA
but
3000 series.
I just feel like this is why you need competition because like you can't trust a
Yeah,
company to
I was
do it
literally talking about this
themselves,
with
even
you
if they're being
before the
competitive
podcast,
themselves.
and we were saying how, man, none of these features would exist if it wasn't for AMD pushing NVIDIA to do stuff. Like, for
Yeah.
example, um, starting with the 3060 and up, the GeForce RTX 30 series is getting resizable bar support.
Yeah.
So this is the direct competitor to SAM, Smart Access Memory from AMD. So
Yeah.
we're going to see how, because apparently resizable bar support has been a thing for a while, and it seems
Yeah,
like,
apparently Linux has had it for a while.
yeah, it seems like Nvidia's pulling their finger out now that they've realized that this is a performance increase that
Yeah.
people
I
are able to get on other systems.
I will say this. I don't think AMD I like AMD doing this is good, but I don't think AMD are the good guys. Like you can't trust them to do it alone. Like any like in a way, Nvidia has forced AMD to do this innovation and vice versa. Like if as soon as one company
Tony,
becomes
just
de
wait.
facto, they
We
become
AMD, Nvidia, they
lax.
got some pretty good graphics cards, but don't forget the Intel graphics cards coming in 2022 or something. So it's over for these
Yeah, yeah,
guys when
but
Intel comes in with their graphics
but
card.
it's like when the AMD 5000 CPUs came out, they increased the price of it because like Intel's not competitive with AMD. Like it's not keeping the prices down because Intel's not competitive, and AMD's like, oh, now we're ahead.
Yeah, so they've announced the new resizable bar technology. They also announced a bunch of new 3000 series laptops, and it seems like the you're going to have the best of both worlds there, where the 3000 series laptops will be running 3000 series GPUs, and then they will be running like 5000 series laptop AMD processors. That was the AMD news. Was the 5000 series, the 5000 series mobile laptop versions of their CPUs were coming out, and it seems like
Yeah,
we're going to have some very powerful laptops coming on our hands. Very excited for that. See how they perform with this new technology coming out as well. Because I think when
should be
it
pretty
came to
good.
like laptops with the 2000 series cards, it doesn't make a lot of sense because the technology was so early.
Mm,
But now we have the
yeah,
great combination of AMD CPU, NVIDIA graphics cards. Now we can really get some really powerful
yeah,
machines
it
on the
seems
go.
to be really good.
Mm.
Apparently, some like power issues. I think like power limitations. I guess for the laptop variants, but
Mm.
well, you kind of expect that to be
Well, they
honest.
talked about like with the 3000 series laptops, they can like smartly move around. You're like, oh, you need more
Oh yeah,
CPU power, you need
like
more
they switch
GPU power.
between. Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
they
I
can do it
saw
on the
that.
fly,
That's
sort of
really
thing.
cool. Yeah,
I thought that was pretty interesting.
because I was like it's like because like limited by the power delivery. And, like if you need
I am a little
more
bit
one or the other.
disappointed that the resizable bar's not coming to older graphics cards. It's only
Well, we
available
don't.
to 3000 series.
It might come down the stack.
They so far
Whilst looking
they've
at it.
only said that 3000 series will have support for resizable bar.
Yeah,
Because this
what?
is something they've done before with like.
Is this all right? But is this a problem with the interface? Because this is why they have a Gen 4 interface, right? Not for bandwidth usage, but for like actual like the use like I think it's like it's a
No,
part of Gen 4
I think
PCI.
no, I think you've been able to do resizable bars on Gen 3. You don't need Gen 4 for
I thought it was Gen
resizable
4
bar.
that added that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I can look it up.
If Gen 3 can do it, then yeah, I don't see why they can't eventually do that.
Resizable bar feature. It will be supported by PCIe Gen 4 as well as PCI Gen 3 too.
Okay.
So yeah, you can do it on PCI Gen 3 as well, which is why people are like, why is this only coming to 3000 series?
Yeah. Especially considering you can get SSDs like Gen 3 has SSD. You have Gen 3 SSDs on the same PCI bandwidth. So
okay, so the resizable bar support and the 3060 will be out in late February. Hasn't the 3060? It's not come out until the 3060 Ti is coming out in January, right? Is it out yet?
I don't know. I can't actually.
It's so hard to tell when like graphics cards are coming out because there's no difference between them being out and then being out of stock. So yeah. I never know. This graphics card will be available to scalpers in February, but you'll have to wait until the 4000 series comes out until it will be in stock. Did you see the? I watched the Nvidia press conference live when it was out, and they were saying stuff like this 3000 series had like twice the amount of stock made for it than any other previous generation. But then I was like, yeah, but the demand was way more than double what it was before. Like we're at a point where people need PCs and are going crazy for stock like this.
Yeah, did you see like how much of a boost PC sales got this year, like compared to any other?
Steam hit milestones where it had more people on it than ever before. Like games are hitting like milestones where people had more people on it than ever before. Yeah, it's crazy. Steam sales, UK game sales were like more profitable than they've, been in a long time, sort of thing. So, yeah, the demand is there, Nvidia. We need more stock, but obviously it's hard to, manufacture stock in the middle of a pandemic. So,
yeah.
We did get announcements of new titles getting DLSS 2.0 and ray tracing. Tony, you're never going to guess this. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, the brand new Five Nights at Freddy's game, is getting DLSS 2.0 and ray tracing. Let's go.
Wait, so what's the acronym for this game then? FNAF?
FNAFs. Yeah, that's the new FNAFs is going to have DLSS and RT.
Yeah.
The Medium is getting DLSS 2.0 and ray tracing. I know it had it removed. Or it seemed like they were going to put it in at one point and then it got removed from the Medium. I have watched some gameplay of the Medium and it looks pretty good. Like, I knew it was like a weird horror game, but when I watched like the actual gameplay of the game, because I think it's coming out soon, it actually kind of reminded me of like a Silent Hill or like a Resident Evil game, like with some of them.
Oh, okay.
Actually looks pretty good. Let's have a look at the release date. 28th, so it's coming out in a couple of weeks. So
yeah,
that will be coming out with DLSS and ray tracing. Fist. Do you remember the Rabbit game from the Chinese developer I was talking about at E3? It looked pretty cool. That's getting ray tracing and DLSS. And of course, the big one was Call of Duty Warzone is getting DLSS 2.0. I know a lot of people, like my brother included, he was saying, I'm struggling to run Warzone at 4K. Now, if he gets a 3000 series card, he could use DLSS to make it run 4K at the AI upscaling, which would make it way easier to run, because I know he has a big ultra-wide 4K panel, and he said he struggles to run games on his 1080 at the moment.
Okay, yeah. Try and get from that, yeah.
Yeah, 1080 and 4K on like a modern game is like
two
pretty hard.
Different generations, yeah.
So we had DLSS 2.0 announcements for Call of Duty Warzone, Iron Conflict, Edge of Eternity, and the upcoming title Outriders. I remember this was announced at E3 and I completely forgot about it, but the only reason I remembered it exists is because it got delayed until April 1st. And I was like, why the fuck could you release a game on April 1st? Is this a joke? I still can't believe that they're releasing on April 1st. It just seems insane to me.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
Are they? Will they just? Yeah, I don't understand. Maybe it's not. Maybe they don't have April Fools where they are.
Yeah, I don't know. We got the Steam Awards winners. Red Dead Redemption 2 equals win. I think the only ones I'm kind of too upset about is probably Red Dead Redemption 2. CS:GO winning Labor of Love. Come on, man.
Wait,
Not Terraria
every
or No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I think every other category I was okay with, other than The Sims 4.
Yes, what's the fuck is going on with The Sims 4?
It came out 6 years ago, but because it just came on Steam, you can now say, I know I'm always relaxing playing The Sims 4.
But who looks at this like Sims 4 and yes, I will select Sims 4. Like, who are these people? Why?
I don't know. I would say like Flight. I guess not a lot. I feel like Flight Simulator is such a... It's a popular game, but I feel like not a lot of people actually play Flight Simulator. It's more of like an enthusiast sort of game. And I feel like Factory Satisfactory are more like niche titles where...
Yeah, I accept that, but...
I don't know. I think it was just the most popular out of the thing, and people went, I know what The Sims 4 is, and then clicked on it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad the Master Chief Collection didn't win Best Soundtrack, because I feel like there would have been a scam if people were like, I like the Halo theme from, 10 plus years ago. Other than that, yeah.
Maybe
I think that most of them are fine.
Maybe we should just try games when they're actually released, not when they're added to Steam.
Because Half-Life Alyx, definitely VR game of the year. I played Phasmophobia in VR on the new jail map, and I was like, after playing Half-Life Alyx, I am ruined for VR games. They feel terrible compared to playing any VR game now. It's like, oh my god, I had so many more features when I was playing Half-Life Alyx, and now every other VR game feels terrible compared to it. I'm ruined for VR games now. It's just such a good VR game. But anyway, that's enough ranting. We'll just move on to the final main news and then we'll end the podcast. Disney has revived the old LucasArts brand. It's now called Lucasfilm Games. One of the big things they announced was Bethesda and Machine Games are teasing an Indiana Jones game. We basically got a short clip. I think it was around CES time where they basically showed off Indiana Jones's studio and they showed the Bethesda logo. If you don't know, Machine Games are the people who made Wolfenstein, the new titles. And from what I've played I've finished the first Wolfenstein. It was fucking awesome. I know people liked the Shadow of the New Colossus game. I know people didn't like the co-op one that much.
No, that's true.
Which is also one of the few games with ray tracing in it, I think, as well.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, I think it has DLSS and ray tracing.
I see it gets benchmarked sometimes. So.
Yeah, I think that's why they use it, because Youngblood.
Yeah. Youngblood, yeah. Oh dear, yeah.
Dude, I still can't believe Wolfenstein Youngblood has like ray tracing in it, but they still don't have ray tracing in Doom Eternal, which is like one of the most well optimized games since Doom 2016, really.
Maybe just hard to implement it into the engine. I don't know.
Well, I'm fairly sure that Wolfenstein Youngblood is running on id Tech. It's running on the same engine as Doom Eternal. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Anyway, Lucasfilm Games and Ubisoft have announced that they are making a story-driven open-world Star Wars game made by Massive. If you don't know who's the developer of The Division and The Division 2. So we're going to have like a big open-world Star Wars game, maybe similar to The Division. I know people have mixed... I know lots of people love The Division 1 and are not huge fans of The Division 2 sort of thing, is the sentiment I get from that game.
Yeah, I've not heard much of The Division 2, so yeah, I assume that's what's happened. I was going to say, so Doom Eternal's on id Tech 7, Youngblood's on id Tech 6. I don't know if that makes a difference.
maybe they haven't moved ray tracing over to it yet.
Yeah.
So this came out of nowhere because it seems like I think 8 years EA has held like the exclusive rights to the Star Wars game franchise from Disney, and it's like Disney's like, okay, we're gonna make our own like Star Wars games, and we're gonna hand the reins to other publishers, and we're like, Bethesda's gonna make a Indiana Jones game, Ubisoft's gonna make a Star Wars game. Let's get this studio rolling. EA's promised we're making more Star Wars games following the Ubisoft Star Wars collab.
Have you seen the Twitter post of that?
No.
It's basically just, we're still here making games. Look, we love Star Wars. We've got these games in the pipeline.
Okay. So
EA.
I know a lot of people aren't huge fans of like EA's having the license to Star Wars, but over the obviously having it for 8 years and only pumping out as many games as they did, obviously Disney wasn't happy with that. But
4 games
Battlefield 1 that was a miss. Battlefield 2 at launch was terrible. Battlefront 2 right now, I will say it again, is an amazing game, and it's a shame that not as many people will give it a second chance, because it's actually genuinely an amazing game right now.
Yeah.
And that being said,
single player.
Battlefront 2 is free on the Epic Games Store right now.
Yeah.
And it comes with the it's the Celebration Edition, which comes with all of like the unlocks and stuff. So you don't there's like the only microtransactions in the game now are for brand new cosmetics. And Tony, there's pre-course content. You can play Geonosis. It's fucking cool.
That's fine. But the thing about the original
Battlefront 2 has a single-player campaign, Tony. Everyone keeps forgetting about that.
Yeah, no, but it's shit.
But,
The thing about the original Battlefront 2 single-player is actually, it's co-op, and it's really good. And
but Tony, I'm talking
all the assets.
I haven't even gone into Fallen Order or Squadrons. These are 2 good games that were made under the EA Star Wars license. So I'm saying it's not as black and white as people like want to think about. People remember that Battlefront 2 was bad at launch, but I'm saying they have made quite a few good games now.
So what you're saying is they've only made good games or made a bad game better in the last 2 years out of the 8 years they've done it?
No, what I'm saying is obviously there was a lot of development time for these games. So that's why they haven't been just pumping out a game a year. Like, if Disney wants to pump out a game a year, Ubisoft is the person to give the rights to. Because that's what they will re-release the same game every year, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously, EA said they're not done with the license, and Jason Schreier from Bloomberg, he put out, with today's news that Ubisoft Mass is making a Star Wars game, it's official that the EA exclusivity arrangement will not be renewed past 2023. So it seems like EA is going to make more games before 2023 with the license, and then after that point, all of the games that will be coming out will be, straight from Lucasfilms and, Ubisoft. Maybe they'll bring in some other developers to make some more Star Wars games. We'll have to see.
That's the way it used to be, where like you could get a license directly from LucasArts, and there was no exclusivity. So I think, let's be honest, like I just feel like EA was resting on laurels for the longest time. Like they only had one development team on doing Star Wars stuff, and now suddenly like, oh yeah, now we need to actually do it. Now we're gonna lose it. It's like, yeah,
because they had like
because Squadrons, as good as it is, it's just reusing assets. Like I say, just like it's still a lot of effort, but like a lot of time was decreased by just reusing
I think
Battlefront 2 assets.
Visceral made Battlefront 2, right? They were the guys working on Star Wars Battlefront 2. And then they bought in the Apex Legends guys to make the other one, the Fallen Order and Squadrons.
Yeah.
Oh, what they
it's a bit of a mess at EA, but I think it's something like
the Titanfall guys.
Yeah.
Respawn is the guys they bought. They made
guys.
the Source One guys.
Source
yeah.
One?
The TF2 guys. So they
Yeah,
did
yeah,
Fallen
yeah.
Order. So who did Squadrons?
Don't remember.
Let's have a look. Oh, Motive Studios did Squadrons. Okay.
Well, wait, but yeah, isn't most of some of the people from Visceral?
I don't know. Motive is a Canadian video game development studio of electronic arts based in Montreal, and they have Battlefront 2 listed under them.
Oh, okay, so they're older than.
Well, I think they have lots of because like Battlefront 2 has Dice, Motive, Criterion,
Yeah, I think
and then
development
Respawn
at
is listed on the Celebration edition. So it seems like multiple
yeah.
team. They've brought like multiple teams to work on it.
EA development is a complete mess because they try and integrate teams, but you might have autonomy, and it's just like it's really hard to
Anyway.
keep track of it.
Well, we'll read our Petermology tweet and then we'll end the podcast. All games have spoilers, unless you've seen the entire game before you play it. My next game will be the first ever to have 0 spoilers, because you've already seen it all, you just don't know it yet. And then someone replied with,
What?
well, you can't spoil a game if you've already played it and you just don't know you've played it yet. And someone replied with, I take it you are working with Ubisoft then, which is a great burn, which ties into the fact that Ubisoft keep publishing the same game over and over again.
Yeah, I will say before we end, I want to quickly go back down to Lucas and Ubisoft. I know like some people are like, I guess kind of what you saying, like it's not as black and white as people say it is against EA and Star Wars. I feel like people shouldn't be celebrating too much that Ubisoft's making a Star Wars game. Personally, I don't trust Ubisoft anymore.
Yeah, I
Have
think
them
it's
for a
going to be
decade at
like
this
a
point.
50-50 if it's good, because I think Ubisoft has lots of really interesting games and some that do turn out to be quite good, and then a lot of them are like, let's
Yeah,
re-release
but
Assassin's Creed
I
again.
don't.
But then they
But
do take
their big
risks
games seem
sometimes.
to be very meh to me.
Yeah, they're big. They're usually big
I
open
don't like
world
their big
tower
games.
simulators.
Yeah, I really don't like their big games. I don't think they know what they're doing.
We'll have to see. Obviously,
Yeah,
we
I'll
haven't
wait and
seen
see.
anything from it yet. But yeah, you can check us out and everything in between podcast on YouTube if you want to watch the VOD of the podcast. Twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch the podcast live, and at Scorn1000 on Twitter if you want to tweet at me to remind me to post things about the podcast. All right, I will see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.